these, and that is improving high school graduation rates.
Okay.
You can't train for jobs if you can't get them out of high school.
Jamie, is there time for me to build on a couple of points?
Give me just a second.
What?
Give me just a second.
Okay.
Graduation rate. Okay, so we've been around here one time, and I guess I'd be curious to know if there's anything that you see that, you know, just missing, that's on your list, that just has not come up yet.
I'd like to see Tui Pool open so the kids would have a place to swim.
Dewey Pool?
Tui, T-U-H-U-I.
Okay.
It's our municipal pool. Otherwise, they either have to pay for the Y or have the money to get to the reservoir somehow.
You call that TUI,
T-U-H-U-I, named for our former mayor.
Okay. Anything else that you just think's missing, Betty?
I'm gonna, my third one was continuing to grow and support, you know, arts and cultural communities. Nonprofit and for-profit.
Continue to grow
There's a
and,
bias there.
No, eliminate.
To grow and support
okay.
the arts and cultural communities. We just came off a great weekend.
That's good.
Anything else missing? Yes.
Maintain public safety.
Eliminate poverty.
Another hand? Yes.
I think identity. I mean, there's no identity within all of those issues.
Are you talking about an identity for Muncie, a
Yeah,
community?
yeah, I mean, it's changing, so it needs to be redefined.
Saw another hand up over here.
Eliminate poverty.
She doesn't want
Already.
Yeah, Aaron.
Okay. Yeah, I have a concern about all of this, which is that we've got to get something done. I see a lot of practical needs out there, but you talk about competing agendas. I've had people tell me that this is a dream plan, that cost doesn't matter. I've had people tell me it's going to be a very specific plan for downtown. I've had people say it's going to be a very specific plan for the south side. I've been told it's going to replan the whole city of Muncie plus the periphery
Who are you
around
talking
it.
to, Barry?
Members, people in this room,
Okay.
and members of the management committee.
Okay.
And while we have a press release saying it's going to be a comprehensive plan, even though you said it's going to feed into a comprehensive plan, my concern, it's fine to do all of those things.
Right.
You know, we hired a good consultant, that part's fine. I don't think we have enough money to do all of those things. And we've done a ton of planning. I brought a handout, and I'll be quiet after that. We've done a ton of planning.
Right.
We've done a miserable job of implementation. I brought a handout just listing all the plans
Okay.
that we currently have
Right.
that I think are somewhat viable.
Right.
And I just hope the whole budget doesn't disappear before we get to those detailed plans that Ivy Tech is expecting for downtown, before we get to specific action items to improve our infrastructure, make it accessible, to do all of those things. If we have a dream plan without regard to costs,
Right.
we're gonna get lost. And if you try to meet all the competing agendas of different people in this room,
Right.
I think you're gonna run out of budget. When Jenny was talking about wanting a better zoning code, when we did the city-county comprehensive plan 10 years ago, the original budget included money to update the zoning and subdivision regulations. The consultant ran the money out just doing the planning, and we never got that part done. And I sure don't want to see that happen again. So
Right.
I'll be quiet now. I'm going to hand these out.
Well, I guess I would, a couple of things in response to that is that we're very interested in what has been done here. And we had this conversation with the management team earlier because we want to learn from that, both in terms of its substance and its outcomes. So we intend to, I'm glad you have that. You would not be the first community that has a history of planning. We're just working on a plan for Amherst, Massachusetts, where they had about 25 years of the planning, but virtually none of it had been adopted.
Well, a lot of these have been adopted or approved by somebody.
Yeah. Is there a copy I can take?
Yeah, there should be.
Before you go on
I think I
that,
can.
Yes.
can I add this?
Yes,
Because
yes, Mike.
He's saying that we're run out of money, and when I said improving relationship between minorities and administration, it included city, county, police, education, university, courts, healthcare fields. We're talking about things that can be done for free. I just wanted to get that out.
So, I guess, you know, Eric, from my role as being the facilitator of this process, you know, our reputation is built not on helping the community just with having a good process people feel good about. You know, our process is, our reputation is built on working with communities that actually do something, because when you go to the next place, they want to know what happened after you guys took the money and left. So we're very concerned about managing this in a way that there is a realistic set of outcomes that can be put into some sort of priority to be achieved.
And that's why I brought this up today, Jamie. Your firm has an excellent reputation.
Right.
I don't want to bring this up 6 months from now
Right.
when 80% of the budget's gone. I
Right.
think it's better to bring it up now and
Right.
get the issue out there.
Right. I think I mean, everybody in the room should be, we're gonna do a lot of hard work to get there, but everyone here, I would hope, is most focused on doing something that leads to some results, right? So Eric has made a very, you know, pointed example about what the planning legacy has been, or lack thereof, in this community. And, you know, if what Eric is telling us is true, is that we collectively don't have a very good track record of really taking our planning seriously, you know, maybe this is the plan, this is the effort to try to turn the tide in turning this into an action plan. My sense is that from, you know, talking to Gail and the mayor and other members of the manager team, is that they share this concern. And that's why I think I mean, I wasn't involved in the naming of this, but the action plan was really that this is really about getting some results. So I guess I'm pledging to work with you, and I hope that you all work together. I think that this is not the process that we're running it, where we've talked about integrating the intuitive things that people know and desire and the research, I think is in part to make sure that this is not just a pie in the sky, right? That it's just not just based on the dreaming, but it's also rooted in some sort of factual basis about what we think what can happen here. So I appreciate this. I think it's making an excellent point for us that, you know, we're in this to get something done. And there are things that have to be delivered in this plan that, frankly, are not as clearly defined. You know, that there is.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and I think part of that is to the benefit of making sure that when we learn what some of these priorities are, that we can really focus on that. That's part of the reason why we've been involved in places where, you know, the client has asked for an existing conditions analysis, and it's become sort of a black hole of effort. You know, you can analyze things to that. We're doing this in 2 steps to be more strategic about how the resources get used. We're going to do this basic baseline, but then we're going to try to protect the resources so that things are important to this group. So I'm really anxious to look at this. We are building a bibliography of things, but this looks like it'd be very helpful. But we'll send, maybe we get this electronically and save us some.
I get that.
Okay. Because there are some other items that we have that we want to make sure to consolidate bibliography. Then for anybody else who has something that you think is useful for us and this committee to have, we want to have it available. So thank you.
Yeah, they should be sent to Sherry.
She's
She's
a good
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna say that. One of the things we had some concerns about was, you know, people not knowing who to go to in this process. If you have an administrative issue, like you need to get a copy of something to planners, that should go to Sherry. If you have concerns about the process itself, we would ask that you go to the 2 co-chairs, because they will be the ones that can come back to the steering committee or talk to those of us who help select a vendor and work out those kind of issues before they would become, or possibly become problematic.
Right. I think we've tried to set up a pretty good protocol with them about our progress reports. So it's not our it's not our way of doing business to sort of get to the end